What's this? When you said downsizing, I didn't think you meant this.
Oh, this is everything with you right next to me. So alive, and tonight I'm thinking that I don't wanna go. This is everything with you right next to me. So alive, and tonight I'm thinking that I don't wanna go.
That's right, guys. This week's episode is going to be a little different because we're going to be focusing... Little? You see what I did there? Little different because we're going to be focusing on downsizing. So instead of spending time in Honey here, we're actually going to be spending more time in here. And so we want to show you guys something fun that we've done. And let's go.
All right. Done. Hi, puppies. So we did something pretty fun, and we decided, well, let me just show you. We decided to move our whole bedroom downstairs. Woo! So this was formerly the living room, and now it is the living room and our bedroom and our kind of work room and dining room. So we're trying tiny living in our living room space. Welcome, we hope you enjoy. We've been eating our meals here, doing some work here. We still have the rest of the house, obviously, but we thought it would be fun to try out tiny living as best as we can right now.
And so right now what we're going to start doing is we're going to start trying to downsize our clothes, which Ashley has a lot of.
Okay, I will explain more later, but yes.
But a couple updates for this week is we actually got gifted or won a shower for our bathroom on the bus, which we are super excited about. And so we want to show you guys that. What's up, guys? So we just got some exciting mail. We just got delivered
Our shower!
this bad boy.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited. So we won the Nebbia by Moen from Happy Homebodies Instagram giveaway challenge that they partnered with Moen for, and we're freaking out. We are very excited.
So this is gonna be our shower on the bus, and what's like super cool about this shower is not only does it look cool and fancy,
Matte
it's
black.
actually like saves like I think like 60% the amount of water. I think
Yes.
I might say it on here. Okay, so it says on the box with a spa shower delivering up to 45% water saving. And so that's what's also we're excited about is that especially with us going to be on the road and using a water tank, this enables us to save water and be efficient.
And it apparently has insanely good water pressure. Just about an 8-inch shower head, but it gives the coverage of a 20-inch rainfall shower head, and it has like an adjustable thing, it has a little hand wash thing, it looks cool, futuristic. We're very excited. And so also we've been in quarantine, as has the rest of the world, so things have looked a little bit different because, well, see here. So quarantine / stay-at-home order is the best thing that's ever happened to our dogs. They absolutely love it. They're going on way more walks now, and we're home all day, every day. Lots of jumping on the bed cuddles, lots of extra attention, lots of extra treats. So, I mean, there are lots of pros in this very weird season, especially from a dog's perspective.
That's right. So this is our first time kind of getting back out. So this past Saturday, we was on our way to help a community in need with food and stuff like this. We were supposed to be driving vans. However, on the way out, Ashley slipped on our front steps because it was raining and fell and hurt her back. And so she's been kind of laid up for a couple of days. Not a lot of work has been done on the bus.
Been taking it really easy and just trying to rest and get better. I had a bad back injury about 5 years ago, and so kind of knew the routine of how to just make sure I didn't make it worse.
So this is our first time her up and moving around.
So happy!
We'll see how this week goes. Okay, let's start downsizing our closet.
All right, let's do this! Tank, are you excited?
Okay, as you guys can probably tell, we're not actually minimalist by nature at all. We actually call ourselves memorialists, meaning that we collect everything that gives us some type of memory, just from stuff. We like to collect things and like to keep things that just hold memories for us. And so this process is probably going to be really difficult for us, but we're willing to give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, we have accumulated so much over the past almost 7 years of our marriage, and it's just kind of wild to look at this and realize how much we've accumulated, because you don't always realize it. But that hasn't always been our story. When Scott and I first got married, we had pretty much nothing, and that time it wasn't by choice. This time we were choosing to downsize, but we had very little, and we were used to living in a tiny space. We started off in a very tiny space, smaller than the bus, so yeah.
Yeah, and so we want to kind of share some of that journey with you guys as to how we ended up where we are today. Also, this isn't all our clothes. This is just a very small portion.
If we showed you all of our clothes at once, you would judge us really hard. All right, so we're gonna dive in to our story, into this pile of clothing.
Okay, so real quick though, these were actually my wedding pants.
Yeah, see, he can't get rid of them.
However, I can get rid of those because I actually don't fit in them anymore. They're 30 by 30 now.
You should try.
No.
Give the people what they want.
No, they won't fit.
Oh, are you really getting rid of them?
See, this is what we deal with.
But those are our wedding pants.
What am I going to do with them?
Should I get rid of my wedding dress?
Oh, it's a little different.
How is that different?
Because you can pass that wedding dress down. You're not going to pass.
You can pass those down to our future son. So yeah, when Scott and I first got married, the very first place we lived in was actually our old, Scott's old college dorms. And so all of the students had moved out for the summer. We got married June 1st. And they were so kind, because we were so broke, to let us live in the dorms for just a few weeks after our wedding to get us on our feet. And so we lived there for a few weeks. And
which it was a guy's dorm as well, so you can imagine
it was
what
ridiculous.
that was like.
And like there was still certain furniture items in there. So our first bed was the guy's bunk bed. And the middle beam was broken, so when we were sleeping at night, we'd like roll into each other. And we had a coffee maker though, and we actually
had an espresso maker because we
did.
got gift cards from our wedding, and I think we had like $80 left from Bed Bath & Beyond, and so we splurged and got an espresso maker.
Mind you, we were both baristas, and we thought it would be really fabulous to be able to have espresso at our house, even though majority of the time we ended up having it at Starbucks. But yeah, our first place that we ever lived in was old college dorms with, yeah, just a very guys dorm vibe about it. And we lived there for a few weeks.
Pack our bags and get in that car. Leave a little note.
Okay, so earlier I told you guys I was going to tell you why I struggle getting rid of certain clothes. It's a little difficult for me because I have been a teacher for years, and I have so many clothes that I'm like, oh, when I'm teaching this lesson, I can wear this and this will help incorporate. I have a skirt with sloths on it. So when we get to our science unit that introduces sloths, I have the perfect skirt for it. And then...
Or the lesson of strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
Because, you know, I definitely teach all my first graders about that all the time. And then I have like awesome, ridiculous Christmas clothes that I'm like, oh, Christmas season, I can wear those to school every day. I have a lot of themed clothes, so I just need to let go and simplify. But it's hard when you're a first grade teacher to do that.
Yeah, the countryside is so pretty with the wind blowing.
Yeah, and so after we moved out of the college dorm, Ashley and I were still going through immigration. For those of you that don't know, I'm actually a British citizen, and so I actually had to go through the whole immigration process. And so the day after we got married, we started that process. And we had no idea how long that would take. It took a whole lot longer than we expected. But so after the college started back in session, we needed a place to stay. I couldn't work with me not being a resident, and so basically I didn't have a social security at that time since it was going through the process, and Ashley was the only one working, and so like we said, we was kind of
He married
broke.
me for my money.
That's right. No, we're so wrong. So we was like totally broke. We didn't really have a place to well, we could afford, and so we were looking at possibly moving in with Ashley's parents at one point, but we wanted to kind of try and make it on our own, and so we actually had a friend who was into the house flipping business, and they were kind enough to offer us one of their properties to stay in, and it was a property that was going through the house renovation flip, so it was
fully gutted.
Yeah, it was like so newly purchased, and
Yeah.
basically the house needed a whole lot of work done on it, and so, but they were more than happy enough for us to live in one of the bedrooms of that house, and then during the day, since I couldn't work, I worked on the house to help our friend out.
So everything we owned was in that one bedroom. Us, our dogs, and then everything that we owned was in that one bedroom of the house, because everything else was a construction zone at that point. So that was pretty fun.
And so yeah, literally the bedroom was probably half the size of this room that we're in, and that is where we lived. We had everything in there. A little box TV that we had VHS that we went to the local
Goodwill.
Yeah, Goodwill to buy VHSs and watch. And yeah, that was our life, living in that little room. And the house itself, like I said, needed a lot of work. And so when we first moved in, we didn't have plumbing, there was no kitchen, I didn't have AC or heat, and so we had to run AC box units, space heaters, whenever stuff like that happened. And then for the kitchen, we was literally eating out a lot. Thankfully, Ashley worked for a restaurant, and so they were kind enough to give us meals. But yeah, it was just crazy, and maybe we can tell you the whole story of what that looked like. But basically, we lived like that Monday to Friday, and then on the weekends we go to Ashley's parents for some luxury living, doing our laundry.
Mom and Dad, you're the best!
That's right. And then just back to life as usual. But, you know, it was one of those things, again, at the time, we just wanted to make it on our own. Like I said, we had family that would have taken us in, that would have taken care of us, but it was just this idea of just being married, living off love, and making it on our own. Yeah, and it was really kind of like building a foundation for our marriage, you know, just been in such close quarters and going through times of not having stuff, like not having plumbing, not having a kitchen, not having AC and A, like just the challenges that came along with that. You know, could have been really testing for our marriage, but it was also such a time of just strengthening our marriage. And so yeah, I was super grateful for that. But yeah, we're super grateful for the next chapter of our journey.
You guys, look how much I've gotten rid of. I know it might not seem like a lot, but woo! I'm not doing the Marie Kondo thing. Maybe I should. Oh my gosh, those are all mine too.
We have so many clothes, you have no idea.
Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. I love this sweater though.
Hey, darling.
So I actually got this top custom made in Tanzania when we went. We actually went out to Tanzania to build a safe house out there. And while we was there, we went to one of the markets, and a nice woman hand sewed and custom made us these. It's a little tight now, but I think it still fits.
You look good.
Pack our bags and get in that car.
We're making so much progress, and though I have been sentimental, I feel like this is pretty amazing so far. So
yeah, and so also part of it is funny as well, because like we're going through it and we're like, oh man, that'd make good clothes that we can wear on the bus that we don't mind getting dirty, or hey, Christmas stuff, winter's coming up, blah, 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 and stuff like this. And so what we probably will do is, this is like a good first step for us. And then
this is not the final purge.
Yeah, as time goes on, we'll keep purging and try to be more conscious of the stuff that we buy, which we have been more conscious of stuff that we buy. And so one thing we're also thinking, like when we're on the road, what we'll probably do is kind of like create some type of rule, in a sense of, hey, if we purchase a piece of clothing, we get rid of a piece of clothing.
Yeah.
And then and stuff like that.
So the next stop on our journey of what type of housing situation we lived in and where we lived was actually do that again, that side. So the next place that we lived in was
Is that better? Fayetteville!
Fayetteville! So, I think I've told you guys before, I'm an Army brat. I grew up in the Fort Bragg, Fayetteville area and had moved away, but Fayetteville definitely felt like home. So we lived there for like 3.5 years, and we lived in a 900 square foot double wide type home, and it was posted up on cinder blocks, and it was adorable. We fell in love with that little house.
Yeah.
It had a kitchen. It had running water. It had so much. And we made it ours day one that we got it. As soon as we got it, we painted the door bright yellow for sunshine. We painted the house white. We just started renovating straight away. The people who lived in it right before us, they were some friends of ours, and they had just laid some new flooring, put in some new ceiling fans, but we finished renovating the rest of the house. By the time we left, it had a new roof. It had like a total cosmetic makeover, and it just became home for us. Yeah. And Fayetteville is where we finished Scott's permanent residency green card process. It took us 2.5 years into our marriage until he got the green card. So we celebrated that marker when we lived in the Ville.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Okay guys, we are getting stuff done.
We already have 3 bags of clothes to donate. Yay!
And so yeah, after Fayetteville, we lived in Fayetteville for what, 3.5 years, yep. And then like we said, I got my residency during that time, and so we then, after Fayetteville, moved out to Raleigh, North Carolina, which is where we're at now.
And we love it here.
Yeah, so we came out here for a job, and we, for the first year, lived in an apartment, which we actually drove by today, which was super fun. We lived there for about a year, a little over. Which we love. We loved apartment life, having a pool, a guest house, and just
the amenities were so good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And lived there for a year, and after that we then decided we loved this area, we loved where we was living, and so we decided that we can see ourselves living here for quite a while, and so we decided to purchase a house, which we did 2 years ago. And so this is the house that we're living in now. It's our very first house that we purchased, and we loved it, and we love it so much that even when we do bus life, we plan to keep it. As you guys know, we just plan to rent it out, and it's just funny that we purchased a house and then we decided
to do bus life.
Yeah, let's do bus life, but that's just the way we roll. Get it? Roll, because of the bus.
Yep. So yeah, now here we are about 7 years later, and we are getting ready to go full force into our bus life, downsizing our closet, downsizing our things. We've heard it said before, having less so that we can see more, and we love that because we really feel like that's the heartbeat of part of the drive for the Hive Drive.
Yeah, we never really had this plan of moving into bus life until this past year, and that's kind of like how we like to live our life. We just want to kind of tap into what we feel like we're supposed to be doing in each season, and so we're really feeling called to go into bus life. And yeah, we're excited for what is ahead with that. And like I said, this just isn't like our norm to downsize and to do this. This isn't something that we've been planning for, or that we've lived a lifestyle of minimalism. And so we just also hope that if there's people out there that are watching it like, oh, that's great for them, but that's not for me. Like, I just encourage you guys, like, just go after what you're feeling like you're supposed to be doing. Like, that's our thing, and that's kind of what called us into bus life, is that are we just kind of settling for what is the norm, and is there more out there? Is there more people to meet and more things to see, more things to do? And so that is kind of like one of our heartbeats behind going into bus life, is we're just wanting to meet more people,
adventure,
see more places, experience more
yeah.
culture, experience more of the world. That's always been our heartbeat, and so we just kind of wanted to go into that full time. And so yeah, if it means having less possessions and seeing more places and meeting more people, that's what we want to do.
Because at the end of the day, things are just things, and experiences and the people that you share the experience with are what matter to us. I know this week's video was a little bit different, but we also wanted to take the time to just share some of our stories, share some of our experiences and our house flips, house projects, what led us to here. We've shared other parts of our stories with you guys in the past, and we just wanted to share a little bit about how we've lived before and where we've lived. And we only scratched the surface, but we'll be with you guys for years to come.
And so, part of this week, obviously we're downsizing, but we've also been trying to be more strategic about planning. As we're moving on to building stages and stuff like that, we're getting more into the intricate details. And so, we've been sketching up lots of designs of what the interior and all that stuff.
He's been sketching them up because he can draw.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like what that stuff's going to look like. And we also had some fun of looking of possible ideas of what our outside bus is going to look like. And so, we're going to show you some variations. This is not concrete, but we have this one, and we have this one. And so, out of the two, we'd love to kind of see which ones you guys are leaning towards. We've got kind of the muted colors and more like pastel, and then we also have like the burnt colors and more darker colors. So yeah, let us know in the comments which ones you guys like.
A or B, A or B.
And so we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We know it was a little different.
Very different,
I
yes.
think part of us was also inspired by our friend Craig from Kingin' It. He just released a video about how to stay motivated, and part of it was decluttering. And so this
We
is
are doing
us
that.
decluttering, getting ready for bus life. And so also something really exciting is we're actually going to be on our friend's YouTube channel, Kingin' It. They've been doing a game show called Skillolympics.
It's amazing.
And so that we should be on there next week, next Sunday. And so check it out. We'll put a link to their channel below, and so you guys can check that out next week. And yeah, hopefully we'll win the game show. But
Hopefully, we're gonna crush it. We're gonna win this so big.
And so we hope you enjoyed this episode. Like I said, we know it was different, but if you liked it, go ahead and click that like button. And if you didn't like it, just don't click any button. Just continue scrolling. And if you haven't done already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. We're so grateful for everybody that's joining this journey and coming along with us as we figure out how to go into bus life.
All right, friends. So, without further ado, we'll be back next week.